Good morning, Chicago. Wake up. It's GQ and JD. We are the Urban Correspondents, and you are tuned in with Colin. How you doing, JD?
Man, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Man, I'm smooth, man. Just been, living every day, taking one day at a time, and Lollapalooza just passed.
That's all we can do. Oh, yeah. I heard it was pretty crazy. I heard Chance the Rapper did his thing on Sunday.
Yeah, he did, man.
Or was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday, yeah.
Man, it was one of those days, man. But we have a very special guest in the building. Fortunate for us, he was able to come in town. And he's in Chicago, one of our own, Kyle Prater from Maywood, Illinois, where he attended Hillside, Illinois, Proviso West High School, and the same Kyle Prater that was #1 wide receiver in the country, as can be seen on Rivals.com. From there going to University of Southern California, then from there going to Northwestern, and then from there going to New Orleans Saints. How you doing, Cal?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what brings you, what's been keeping you busy these days, brother?
Man, just grinding. Currently right now a free agent, so just doing a lot of training and outside of training, just doing some filming. I do photography and videography, cinematography, short films, and a whole bunch of different projects. But, I got a whole production that's called Chasing Greatness Productions. So
Okay, Chasing Greatness?
Me busy. Yeah, it's been keeping me pretty busy nowadays.
Cool, man, cool. What do you hope to do with that, man?
Man, hopefully go way longer than football will ever go. So that's my whole mindset. A lot of people don't understand that. NFL, National Football League, but to be completely honest, it really stands for not for long. You gotta.
yeah. So, I heard about
I've never
that.
actually heard that.
It's a business. It's a business, so you got to treat it as such. But I got a mindset that thinks long term. So basically, I wanted this to be something that can go way longer than football ever can take me. So.
Man, well done, man. That's good to hear. That's the longevity of the careers of these NFL players. You're right; they don't last long.
Yes, sir.
You're putting a lot of your body on the line.
Exactly.
A lot of contact, especially with your position, you get cracked.
Yeah, I know. I have my fair share of injuries, so that's what kind of had me in the position I am. So that's what got me to thinking. I got to start thinking long term opposed to short term.
Okay, man.
Yeah. So you at wide receiver. Is that a position that you played like throughout your entire, like, even adolescence?
No, not when I was a youngin', man. I played. People don't know this, but I played lineman. I started out playing left tackle and DN.
Yeah.
And I didn't start playing wide receiver till my 7th, 8th grade year.
Oh, okay.
But I made that jump pretty smooth. It was just happened overnight, and ever since then, it's been the position that I've been playing my whole career.
Yeah, so it seemed like you got a real wide understanding of the game. Like, how important is it to understand all the more than one position, like especially the one outside of the one that you particularly play?
Definitely. I mean, I think people need to understand when you play in this position and playing at the highest level and the next level, the more you know, the more you play. And, that playbook is thick at the next level in college and NFL. Mm-hmm. And you have to be very conscious of just putting yourself in a box as far as just singling yourself as one position, because the guys that play more are the ones that know more than one position. But I played wide receiver my whole career. Then this past year we've been contemplating position change with tight end. That's what teams been talking. So It's been cool. It's been a good transition having these workouts with teams at tight end position.
How would that change like your training regimen? What do you do differently now?
Nothing. Probably eat some more.
Get bigger.
Yeah, that's about it. As far as the position change with playing tight end, just focusing more on blocking, being more in the interior. But as far as route running and catching, none of that stuff has to change. I think it's going to help me be more of a mismatch, if anything.
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. It's been a good, fairly smooth transition thus far. But we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah. So when it comes to the transition, whose ultimate decision is that?
The teams.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. So I've worked out the past 2 weeks. Well, I worked out for the Patriots 2 weeks ago, and then last week I was in Indianapolis with the Colts and worked out for the Colts as a tight end, and then the Patriots as a receiver. So it's trying to figure out where they want to put me, because I'm like too big to play receiver in a sense, but like too small to play tight end. But they like my skill set, so we'll see what happens.
You got hands, man.
So where your heart at?
My heart is wherever they want to put me. I'll play outside receiver, but at this point in my career, I'm like, look, whatever it takes to get on the field, get back on the team, I'll do whatever it takes.
That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at.
It really is, man. And so going towards the whole idea of being tight end now, how many pounds you think you would have to put on?
Probably about a good 10, 15.
10, 15 pounds?
Yeah, not just 10, because I'm at 235 right now, and that's a tweener in a sense.
Yeah.
But just to be able to control that interior coming off the edge and being able to have some mass, and those guys are big down there, so got to be able to chip and be able to move those guys around.
For sure, man. I think you'll make a quite athletic tight end for sure, man.
I think so too.
So for those that don't know, so currently you are like a free agent, or
Free agent.
you're a free agent.
Yep.
So what does it mean to be a free agent for those who don't know? Could you like elaborate on like what that is and like what it entails and what options you have?
Well, being a free agent, you have options if those options are available. For me, when I came out 2015, I was an undrafted free agent, so I didn't get drafted. It was projected to, but the thing didn't go that way. So I went undrafted to the Browns on a tryout basis. Then they didn't like what they saw apparently. Then the Saints brought me in and signed me after minicamp. So after last season, I got released after being on IR till week 3 for an injury. I was a free agent again. And so that means basically I have an agent, but you're free on the market for teams to reach out to your agent. So to work out or whatever have you, not train, but to work out for teams or possibly sign.
Okay, so basically what happened is when your agent is contacted, they'll hit you up with the opportunity and let you know, like, okay, this team is interested in you for such and such.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. So how important is it to pick an agent that's passionate about your best interests?
You just have to find somebody. In my position, you would like to have an agent that will work just as hard as you're working. So I feel like, I work really hard. I train every day to take care of my body. I would like my agent to entail that same work ethic. So that means getting on the phones with teams, sending out my film, letting teams know that he's ready, he's healthy, constantly. So, you got to have somebody that'll fight for you just as much as you fighting for your dream.
I mean, we always hear about a lot of people being put in situations, especially when it comes with agents, to where I guess like contracts would kind of
poorly negotiated.
It'll come into a play whereas that things could like deteriorate. So in that aspect, like, have you ever come into that type of problem with your agent, or if not, is there any advice that you would have in terms of picking an agent?
No, I haven't ran into any problems as far as contract negotiations. My contracts that I signed, my first year I actually got a new agent. This year I had to part ways with my first agent. No love lost. I just had to make some new decisions, some moves, some changes, and go forward. But haven't had no problems as far as contract negotiation. But for any upcoming college athlete that's going to be going into this year's, and when it goes down to picking your agent, just make sure they be mindful of the people they put in their corner and surrounding them, because it's a lot of yes people, it's a lot of yes men, it's a lot of people that'll tell you what they want now. It sounds good, they dress it up. Essentially, people need to understand an agent can't get you drafted. You get yourself drafted. That's your film, your field of work. That's your resume that you put on the field, and your character and everything that you do outside of football. Your agent essentially is just the guy who pushes to these teams and GMs that this is the guy that you want on your team. And as far as endorsements and all the external stuff outside of football, that's the stuff that they take care of. So.
Okay. They take care of that as well, so they make an agreement.
Get you opportunities, signings, and stuff like that, and contract negotiations, whether to fight for you to get a signing bonus or we want him this and that. As far as coming out of your college, that's on you. Like that's your resume, it's your pro day, your combine. If you get invited, and your field of work. So.
Okay, so speaking of like contracts and deals and finding opportunities and things towards that nature, we all know that there's a player that's kind of is in a dilemma right now, whereas that he's having a hard time finding new opportunities. Colin Kaepernick. And
Kaepernick, yeah, my bad. You got it.
Yeah. So
his name,
Yeah, so with his particular situation, does that like affect you at all? Like, or do you like have any specific thoughts on that entire situation, or?
His situation is totally different from mine. Like I said, everybody's situation is different. I commend Kaepernick for what he's doing. He's standing his ground on what he believes. Everybody has something that they believe in. And, sometimes when you stand for something, sometimes people aren't going to agree. And that's just the way the world works, and that's just life. But, in his particular situation, I think he's a great quarterback, a great guy, and I think he deserves an opportunity to be back on the team.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this particular situation, I think it really shows a light for everyone watching NFL games, kind of show the business aspect of the sport, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, did you always know how big, the business was ran?
Oh, yeah.
Before this? And
I was prepped. I had friends that play in the NFL, guys like Brandon Marshall, that had prepped me, and my father as well prepped me as well. And then plus I watched NFL Network, and I knew, and I had people tell me how the business is. But, to actually be in it, you experience it, I'm prepared for it. It's a different story when you go into it not knowing. Then you get your emotions involved, and you get emotionally crazy when you get released, and you're like, oh, why is this going on? Well, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and just know it's a business. So I understood that, and I treated it as such.
Okay. So with that situation happened with Colin Kaepernick, when it comes down to, him being now kind of a role model, I think he's on the winning side now. Would you say that, could you see yourself standing behind his positioning at all, or could you see yourself, putting yourself out there in the open, if things come to play where you have to say something that might be, the unpopular, decision among those who watch NFL?
Yeah. I mean, look, like I said before, man, sometimes there are going to be views and opinions that you have about things that aren't going to agree with everybody. Okay. And some agree and some don't. But like I said, if I feel like if I stand for something and I believe in something, I'm a wholeheartedly fall behind it and stand for it. And I'm not gonna you can't let sometimes the world dictate the way you move. We live in a world, man, that's corrupt, and you see it's changing every day. But at the same time, you can't let, your values fall with it. So if you stand for something, believe it, stand behind it and go through with it.
Wise
That's
words.
real. That's real. So, so just to kind of, shift the conversation a little bit. Okay, we all from Chicago. So, is there anything? Well, you did speak about something. Is there anything that you do specifically that gives back to whether it be the community or the youth per se?
Well, I do tons of community work. I work with this organization called Athletes for Hope, where it's a nonprofit organization that we just go out into the community. They set up events at schools in Chicago. I go out, either speak to the school or interact with the kids, do after-school programs, teach them about health and fitness. Just most recently did a visit, I think my second visit at Lurie Children's Hospital. And cool. I just visited the hospital a few weeks ago in the south side of Chicago at the Children's Hospital there. Spent some time with the kids there, visit them in the rooms and just spending time with them, man. And I also do camps on Saturday for kids, my receiver groups. And it's called Chasing Greatness Wide Receiver Academy. Any chance I get, man, an opportunity to give back and be a positive influence in the community of Chicago, I try to do that and I grew up in these same streets. Yeah. And like I said, not so many people can make it out of Maywood. I know a few people, but to come back and give back and be a presence in the community as much as I can, I love to do it.
That's amazing. Now, speaking of kids and camps, has there ever been a time that you saw, whether it be a grammar school kid or a high school kid, and pulled them to the side and was like, yo, look, football ain't for you, man?
Right.
Has that ever occurred?
Killing people's dreams, man?
I don't kill dreams, man. I feel like if that's your dream, don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't do something. Exactly. I know you've seen the Will Smith movie, Pursuit of Happiness, and that's so true. It's true. Don't ever let somebody tell you what you can't do.
For sure.
No matter if they are on a level where you want to get to and they tell you that, no, don't believe that. I've never had a kid I saw that I was like, hey, man, don't do this. But I always try to tell them, look, there's think long term. Get your education first and foremost, because look, this game isn't guaranteed to everybody. The percentage of guys that get to the next level is very, very low.
For sure.
And it's getting lower because of the guys that are getting more advanced. So
exactly.
Just be mindful of how much energy you put into a dream. Just make sure you have a plan B.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think a kid would be too soon anyway, though, because you didn't start off the most athletic kid in the world.
Exactly.
Our coaches talked about it all the time. You know, we went to the same high school, played on the same team, and I remember them talking about how you used to have a big gut.
Yeah.
You know, like freshman year.
Yeah, man, I was a skinny kid. You know, tall, lanky, and you know, half of the time stuff wasn't coordinated. But I had the mindset to I want to change myself. I want to be better. I want to be great. And so I did that. And just like I said, if I was that kid that somebody told me, oh, you can't do that, and listen to the negative people saying that you're too small, you're too tall, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be just like any other kid that got their dream shot.
So what was the things that kept pushing you forward then? If you was you know, receiving all of this information, like, you know, you too big or too small or not coordinated enough, like, where was you getting your inspiration and motivation from?
It was, I think, my sophomore year. One of my good friends, Corey Cooper, he played at Proviso East, and there was an article in the paper, and they had like the top guys in the area, whatever, Chicago, and we had played together with the Bucks, but my name wasn't in the paper. Like, I wasn't none of the top guys. So I didn't say nothing, but I kept it in my room, and I was like, man, like, I'm gonna be one of the top guys next year, and I looked at it as a motivation, and from that point, I just kept grinding, and it eventually turned into being number one player in the nation, number one wide receiver.
Yeah, would you say it's just that simple? You just got to keep grinding at it?
It's not simple. I mean, it's simple as far as saying that's what you do, but you actually got to go out and do it. It's one thing to say you're going to do it, then to actually go out there and put in the work. A lot of people talk about it, but you got to actually go out there and do it. That's half the battle, is saying I want to be great. To actually go out there and be great is a whole nother story.
So did you just like talk to yourself all the time and remind yourself what you wanted to do with yourself, man? Like,
self-talk is big, man.
It is.
Self-talk is big. If you speaking negative things all the time, you're going to get negative outcomes. If you speaking positivity all the time, you're going to get positive outcomes. And that's how I always thought, and I think to this day, no matter what mood I'm in, no matter what I'm going through in my life, I'm always going to have that positive, that outlook on everything.
Cool, man. So what would be like your top 3 things that you would like tell a kid, like if they want to be, you know, in the NFL, if they want to pursue any, you know, athletic sport to go play professionally, what would you tell them?
Never give up. You know what I'm saying? I've had 5 surgeries. You know, it wasn't easy getting there. So to have people tell you number one in the nation and then not live up to their standards per se, and then get called a bust, transferred to another school, still have the same things happen, injuries, and you're still getting people calling you these names and bloggers saying this and writers saying all this about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You 17, 18 years old, how can you deal with that? So for me, I had a great support system, and they kept me grinding. I just kept grinding and kept grinding through all the turmoil and adversity. I overcame it. And so I just tell any kid, man, just don't listen to the noise. You know, it's gonna be tough times. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be dark days, but you gotta not let your dark days outweigh the good ones. Just gotta keep grinding, keep pushing.
Don't listen to the noise.
For sure. That's
good advice.
Yeah, that's powerful, bro. So in becoming, you know, successful in your own, like in your particular route, like in your journey, like how do you deal with being the one in like your circle, like that made it? Like what pressures does that put on you?
I had a circle a few years ago. Now I probably got a decimal. So you get what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying is, it's like my circle was too big.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So now when you on this journey, you got people pulling you each which way. Oh, you're number one. You're Prater. You know, it's so much going with that. So you don't know who to trust. So fast forward to now, you know, being in the NFL and having to go through the adversity, I seen people while I was on the top fall off. I seen people change on me. I seen relationships change. And for me, that wasn't something that made me depressed. It was something that opened my eyes. Like, oh, I see how people really are. So that's just going to help me get better. So now I only roll with a few people. You know, I got my guys I grew up with, and I keep it that way. You know, and because I know how people move, and I know people deal with you because of what you do, and that's how it is. So if I tell anybody, man, keep your turkle, your not turkle, turkle, keep your circle small. Keep your circle small, man, because when it gets too big, man, it allows for too many people to reach in and get involved.
Okay. So going back to when you mentioned those 5 surgeries, can you explain which surgeries you had, man?
I had Jones fracture on my left foot, right foot.
Damn.
Knee surgery on the left.
All of these injuries were in
College.
high school? Oh, in college.
I didn't get hurt in college. I mean, high school.
Okay.
Man. So this was new for me. So my left knee, left foot, right foot, pinky.
I thought you hurt your pinky in high school, though.
Nah, I didn't hurt my pinky.
No.
Probably just jammed or whatever. But I had lacerated my kidney in college. That was terrible.
How'd that happen?
Landed on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was peeing blood. It's TMI, but
No,
that's the truth.
They gotta
it was
know.
bad, but all of those, man, it was a lot. I never had gotten hurt, so this was new for me when I got in college. So I was like, why me? But I was asking God, like, stop asking why me and why not me. You know, he was just shaping and molding me to be who I am today and becoming the man I am today. I would do it all over again, to be honest, because, you know, had I not got injured, I probably would have been in the league after 3 years in college. But would I be the person I am today? Probably not. You get what I'm saying? As far as the mentality I have. And I was still able to get to the NFL. So I don't know too many guys, and I say this in the most humble way. I don't know too many people that can endure what I went through and still get to where the level I got to after going through all of that. It wasn't easy. Like, it was days I was crying, like, about to quit.
I bet, man.
Like my rookie year, and I got released from the Saints, and I come home and train, and I break my foot outside of the team, and then 30 minutes later, the Bears called me, like, wanting to sign me, like,
oh wow,
like, you get them you know, that's tough. September 19th, 2015, like, that's one of the toughest days. To tell your home team, no, I can't come in. So, like I said, man, and I got re-signed that following year with the Saints, but to have to go through surgery during the middle of NFL season and still get picked up, it's not easy. It's a mentality, man. I worked, and that's that chasing greatness mentality that I have that I try to instill in my brand and my business, in which who I am as a person.
That's amazing, man. So through all of your trials and tribulations that you've been discussing, what's one of the most, or if not the most important things that you learned about yourself?
That I can get through anything. Like, I think once I notice a lot of times, I look back at times we used to run, like gassers or sprints or something. And you say you run and you get like, it's hard, man. Like, damn, I want to quit. Like, this is tough. When I went through all my surgeries and everything that I went through, having to be called, you know, a bus and this and that, and having to work my way back after all those surgeries, and like, that was hard. So I look at that, like, and I got through that. Once you break that mental barrier, man, as far as like that it's 90% mental and 10% physical, that's true. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
So I'm at that point now where it's like I can get through anything, man. Whatever life throws at me, I got it.
Sound like some stoicism right there.
Man, it's true, man. It's facts.
That's good, man. So, but you weren't alone, man, because I know you can see the news and D Rose going through all his injuries. I know it's, of course, a different field, you know, different sport and different situation. But, you know, he definitely was going through so many injuries back to back, you know.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, but I also saw on Instagram, though, that you were, like, playing flag football. Well, so what was that, man?
It was cool. That was fun, actually. I was, like, unexpectedly fun because we got all these top guys that's from different eras, like Chad, T.O., Mike Vick, and I was like, me? Like, I got, you know, a chance to play with some greats, and I was extremely humbled to have this opportunity. But it's a flag league that's going to be starting up in 2018. This is like the launch year.
Oh, okay, so it's brand new.
It's brand new.
Never done before.
Never done before, and we got some great feedback, man, and we wanted to get some guys behind it.
You got Chad and T.O. there.
Hey, that's actually pretty dope. So, like, just using that particular situation and like comparing it to a lot of different situations that a lot of kids might be in now.
Yeah.
Like when you get into an atmosphere of people who you look up to or do things that you currently doing and they've been doing it for years, like how do you enter that atmosphere and be seen as humble but still be looking for information to see how you could set yourself up for better days?
Man, put your pride to the side, man. These are guys that have done it for a long period of time, played at the highest level, played in Super Bowls, played in high level playoff games, and you just learn and soak up information. I think when I was out there, my time out there, I played in the NFL, but I had nowhere near as much as experience as these guys. So let me just soak as much knowledge and information as that I can. And then at the same time, look, I can play too.
For sure. True.
So look, that's the reason why I'm here. A lot of people got to understand, like, it's a reason why a team brought you in, or it's a reason why you're here. So you can't. No, I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, look, man, I can play too, but I also want to learn.
Of course, man. What did you learn from them, man?
As far as learning, I learned a lot. I learned that Chad talks a lot.
He does.
Yeah, so that's what he's as advertised, and T.O. as well. But just watching those guys' mannerisms and just how they are as far as the game, I was asking questions. And I was surprised, just to see that, these guys were looking at me too, like, what am I doing? So that was pretty cool too, to see that my work ethic and my skill set was getting noticed as well.
Yeah, man, you the young blood, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of legs left, man.
So with that said, in terms of like being a student and like, mentorship and stuff like that, is that something that you naturally do often, like when it comes to like seeking information from people who may have it? You know what I'm saying? Or giving information to those who don't have it. Is that something that you're into, or is that just something that you do regularly?
I love both, man. I love gathering information. I love giving it. I feel like I'll be losing my blessings if I didn't give the information that I've learned over these years as far as being in college and NFL. I block my blessings that way. And I love coaching. Like, I've been coaching. I coached this summer at Maine West, the receivers there. And I told you, I got my camps on Saturday as well, and I just love giving back. So me giving back my knowledge of the game, and I know a lot. I know so much of it because I write it down, and I'm a super student of the game. So me just giving back my skill set, man, it means a lot.
That's great, man. I didn't know you coached at Maine West. How long did you do that for?
That was this summer.
Oh,
because
cool.
Coach Crabman, I don't know if you remember, Coach Crabman was my freshman year at Proviso West. He was my receiver coach.
Okay.
So fast forward, he's over at Maine West. He reached out. Yeah, I don't know your situation, but we'd love to have you over coaching our guys. And I said, you know what, let me go over there. And I spent some time with him and created a great bond with those guys. So we'll see going forward as far as what I do. They want me there in the fall, but I'm still trying to figure out what these teams are talking about because I've been having a lot of action these past 2 weeks.
Do you still keep in contact with Coach Hobart, Coach Famous Hobart?
Yeah, I talked to him a couple months ago, but he had a baby girl, so he's been pretty.
He has a baby now?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I got to give him a call.
Yeah, he's pretty excited about that, man. It's been a long time coming.
And
So he's
trying.
He's his hands full.
Congrats to him. Shout out to Coach Hobart, Famous Hobart. He coached at Proviso West High School. When I was there and when he was there.
Yep.
Good role model for sure. I still hear his voice in my head.
You can't let that go. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah, man. He was a real coach.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I think I only played football in high school for just 1 year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was a little too intense for me. Like the running is different. You feel me? Like I remember we had to do I don't even remember what they call it, dude, but when you run to the 50-yard line back to the touchdown and all the way back down.
Suicides?
Is that what it's called? I know that's what we call it. I know that's what we call it in basketball.
Yeah,
in basketball we call it suicides. But 50-yard, from the touchdown, 50-yard line back to the touchdown.
50 back.
Exactly.
300s. Yeah,
let's go
dude, like those gave me Charlie horses out of my sleep before, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Make sure you're hydrated.
For real, man. So when you were trying to play, what were you trying to play? What position?
tight end and safety on defense.
All right.
Yeah, strong safety on defense.
You got to go to his training classes, man.
For sure.
Go to some
come check me out, man.
Straight
That's
up.
cool, man. When's your next class?
So what's the
Saturday?
Yeah, so give us all the full details of that, like location. How can we find out about it? You know,
Well, it's
how
on
much
my
it costs?
website. Everything's on my website, chasinggreatnessproductions.com. You know, we do Saturdays. Me and my guy Greg Greg Holcomb. He's a QB guru out here in Chicago. He trains quarterbacks, so we team up on Saturdays.
Wait, is he related to Corey Holcomb?
No, he's.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's like,
He
maybe.
said Holcomb from Chicago. I'm like, hold up.
No,
But anyways,
he's a guy who I partner with on Saturday, so he take care of the quarterbacks on Saturday from 12 to 1 at Duofer
okay.
Park and Downers Grove, and we've been doing this for the past month or so. Been great guys coming out getting better every week, and it's just $20 for the receivers, and it's been having a great turnout, man. It's been cool. Like, it's guys come out getting better for that hour and 30 minutes of work.
Mm-hmm.
So we do 30 minutes of individual, 30 to 45 minutes of individual. I work with the receivers, teaching them drill-specific stuff as far as technique, stance starts, coverage recognition, releases, all the things that they probably not going to get at their respective high schools. So I try to give them that next level training right now, so when they get to that next level, they already have that knowledge, and it won't be something that they're just now seeing, because they're going to learn it there. If not, they're going to learn it down the road. So they're getting it now.
Yeah.
That's good. So it's chasinggreatness.com.
Chasing Greatness Productions.
Chasing
Greatness Productions.
Productions.com.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
CGP.
And is this something that's
CGP.
seasonal?
Yeah, seasonal. So the season's about to get started now, so it's just once a week. So guys don't usually play on Saturdays, so we might have to push it to Sunday, but we have private, sessions too as well. But now that the season's starting to gear up, we're just going to gauge how it goes and see what these guys want as far as, because this is the first year for it that I started it, so we'll see how it goes.
Cool, man. Yeah, I've been keeping notice of it, man, on Instagram. It's been looking pretty solid.
Appreciate it, man.
Some
Thank
good videos on your story.
Yeah, we just did a commercial I just shot a commercial for it for my training as well. So I'm a no one trick pony, man, over here.
For sure.
I try to do everything. So I pride myself in my film and my work as far as my kids.
Yeah,
And then as far as film, how'd you get into that? Is that something that you've always been interested in and wanted to dabble with?
I've always edited here and there on my phone back in the day when they started up the little iMovie things here and there. Never per se had a camera. I didn't have the money to buy a camera back then. So I was like, when I got released last year, I said, I love film. I love taking pictures, and I got like a creative mind, but I couldn't really go out there and do it. I didn't have the equipment. So I was like, you know what? Invested some money, made a little money, whatever. I went and bought a camera and then started dabbing around, playing with it, making little projects here and there, doing stuff for people. And then somebody's like, oh, wow, you got an eye. And I was like, okay. Then I started doing projects, and then, man, I want to start this into a whole production. And Chasing Greatness came from when I was in college. It was like my motto. That was something that kept me going in the team. And I was, at Northwestern, I was always telling us, let's chase greatness. Like every day, no matter what it is, practice or games. And now it's like, I want to make this into a whole production, not something that's just deemed in the football realm or sports, but chasing greatness is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
so you can chase greatness being in your position as far as being a radio host, a trainer, a filmer, whatever you want to do, you can chase greatness in every aspect of your life. So
I agree.
My camera, me having that camera, basically our motto is let's capture greatness. You know what I'm saying? Let me capture your greatness while we keep chasing it.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing, man, and just, outside of football, that's just something that I want to be. That's who defines me as a person.
Okay. Any big projects coming up at all with the?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be
CGP?
flying out to LA to do a brand promotional video for one of my clients, a potential client, Brianna, in Los Angeles, who I went to school with at Southern Cal. Had to put a project on hold with Sky Zone in Los Angeles because I had to fly out to New England for a workout. But I got some projects with a guy, one of my good friends, Gus Fakori, doing more of a business project. So I'm pretty busy, man. I just shot some for Rob, Covington, who we went to school with, played basketball, shot his camp.
Cool, man.
He
He's a
posted
camp.
it. Yeah, he had a camp. Yeah, it's his second annual camp he just had a few weeks ago. So I shot that for him, and then I just shot some stuff in the studio with my friends. I was living in L.A. with the interns. I don't know if you know the interns, the producers.
Mm-hmm.
They did the birthday cake for Rihanna, Justin Bieber baby song. They did tons of songs.
Yeah,
they did Anaconda, Nicki Minaj. Tons of songs. They pretty.
I
hot,
know that
man.
one.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that one. But those one of my close friends. So I shot some stuff in the studio. I'm gonna be releasing some of that stuff coming soon. So yeah, man, I'm pretty booked, man. I'm having fun with it. All while still training. So little sleep.
Yeah.
But I love what I do. So when you love what you do, it's not really work.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And all it took was your investment in the camera, man.
That's all it took, man. Just got to take a leap of faith sometime, man, and just, like I said earlier, just do it.
Yeah. So you recording something every day?
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Recording right now.
So for sure.
But just I think we live in a world, man, that's content based. With social media driven. We live in a digital world, man. So everything is being documented, and so I think the best thing for me to do is document my life and others as well, and that's just the best way to better promote yourself, your brand, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think we're in a totally different world now with the whole social media. Because like him being a free agent, I feel like people back in the day, they were a free agent, they just fell off. You know what I'm saying? How are you staying relevant? You know what I'm saying? How are you showing that you were actively training without going to the door every day and making phone calls? They can't tell your body type over the phone.
For sure.
If I'm looking at a few videos,
Just go follow me.
For sure.
That's what's so different now, man. And I think it's great that we can have this this avenue to just, is he training? Let's check him out.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, a lot of that stuff can be a front too, which people be putting stuff on Instagram and their social media and not really living that life.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
It's a lot of fabrication going on out here, man. False lives out here. So I don't live no false life. What you see is what you get.
Yeah,
like for real.
That's a good way to live, man.
Yeah,
for sure, man. For sure.
Coach Zuback, man, he used to always be like, "You fraudulent."
Yeah, that's
what I think about that a lot
man,
too.
There's a lot of frauds out here, man. Trust me.
Oh man.
Yeah. So what did you study at USC?
Communications.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I graduated my BA in communications at Northwestern. So I think my minor was in AFAM, African American Studies.
Cool, man. Cool. So you know about Ta-Nehisi Coates? You know of his writings at all?
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Never heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Man, you should go check him out, man. He has a book called Between the World and Me, which is pretty solid. That came out maybe like 3 years ago, maybe a little more than that. He's a current correspondent for The Atlantic, and he also has another article that you should read. It's about Chicago, about the Federal Housing Administration when the redlinings and whatnot. It's called what is that one called? I can't really think of the name right now, but I'll come back to you on that. But yeah, man, check him out.
Okay.
He's good, man. He is our leader when it comes to African American studies. He is like one of our Martin Luther Kings in the flesh, man.
Hey, yo, I don't mean to segue the conversation, but I actually just noticed something that was super dope. I just noticed that your pops just called you. And when my pops called me, I always hear, this is a collect call. You're receiving a call from the such facility. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, like coming up in the world and, being in the place that you are now, how important was that relationship between you and your pops, if there's a relationship, a strong relationship there?
Yeah, I was blessed, man, to have both my parents home growing up. So not too many people can say that. So it's a blessing to have both my parents home. And my relationship with my dad is better now than it was before. Like, my dad grew up strict, super strict on me. Like, it was to the point, like, man, kids, everybody used to always be like, man, I can't wait till I leave the house. I can't wait.
Sure.
But he raised me to be the man who I am today. So I can't take all the credit for the man who I am today, because my dad is a big reason for that, and my mother as well, as far as stressing education. But my father was just really installed being a man of character and representing the name that's on my back. And he just, he was on me tough, man. And like, he's one of my best friends right now, because we had our days where we battled, fought and just, what I'm saying? But that made me who I am today because of him raising me the way I am, the way he did.
Yeah, I just remember him the way he was when all those schools was after you, man.
Yeah.
He wanted you to. What was his main first choice? You know what I'm saying?
He wanted my dad. Honestly, my dad wanted me to go wherever I felt I wanted to go as far as where my heart was, but he wanted me to be close to home.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, man, they told me, they raised me to, I got to make a decision that's on my own because I can't live under them. So I made the decision that was right for me at the moment. So
solid, man.
For sure. Yeah, man. Because I mean, the reason why I even asked about that because again, in my personal experience, that's something that was absent. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Especially within our community. And being that when I was younger, I didn't have that. I actually had a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Then I acquired another mentor, and then a third. You feel what I'm saying? And then these were the people. I'm talking about like outside of my family. You know what I'm saying? So these were the people that I looked at and was like, yo, I like the way he's doing what he's doing. I like the way he handles his responsibilities. I want to emulate that when I become that age. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like something like that is very important to have, which is why I personally, mentor and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
My father's presence in his son's life is huge, man. And like I said before, I'm blessed to have my father. But I know a lot of kids that I work with and talk to, they don't have a father at home, and some don't have a mother at home. And like they just need guidance. That's a lot of the stuff that's going on in Chicago with our kids in the community with the violence is because the lack of guidance,
of course,
and the lack of parenting, and the lack of fathers not being there. So, and that's what's tough, man. These kids are growing up lost and not having a father at home.
False masculinity,
and they feel like that masculinity that they're reaching for is in the streets and behind a gun and that's not the answer, man. But until we get a community, and like they always said, take a village to raise a child, and that's
for
true.
Sure.
But what's crazy, how can a village raise a child when the village is corrupt?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
for sure.
That's the toughest thing to do. You can't say it takes a village to raise a child when the village is corrupt, man. So
it needs to be rebuilt from the ground up.
You got to be rebuilt from the ground up, man, from the soil, from the root to everything.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man, especially with these kids out here, man. It's just every day on the news, people come in. When I meet people from all over the world, they know about Chicago. They know about the crimes. They know about the murder rate, man. It's crazy. It just doesn't – I don't understand how there hasn't been something greater done about this. You know what I'm saying? What would you want to do, given the right resources? What would be your first step?
Well, it's tough, man. You see this every year. Put the guns down. Black lives matter, all lives matter, which all lives do matter, but we are the ones that are being affected the most.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's becoming just like super cliche, man. Like every week, is it Black Lives Matter, then it's put the guns down. Like but when is somebody gonna really do something? So I think for me, what I would do, you gotta touch these kids at a place mentally where you gotta crack that mindset. You just got to get in and find out the root to where is it coming from. Yeah. We know where it's coming from. It's the lack of parenting and guidance. So we just got to get more guide. I think the only way you can reach these kids with people that are closer to the age.
Yeah.
Sure. So we just got to have more kids their age that know what they're doing is right to talk to them.
Yeah. We're not too far from their age.
No, we're not.
You're just kind of gigantic, though, so you might scare them away, you know what I'm saying?
No, but I think they look at, we need more athletes, professional athletes in the community.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
Because they look up to us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's on the pedestal. That's what's on the forefront. They look at us like, oh, wow. So if we get those guys in the community, and I think we can have a more positive outcome.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, as individuals, I feel like we do what we can do. And I feel like you particularly, found an amazing way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Through the camps and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like where you could, not only teach the kids the game, but also, also give them game that they could use going forward.
Right.
So, I definitely salute that you're doing, because something like that I was a part of, that actually made a huge impact on my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was younger and I was coming up, it was this former NBA player. His name is Sonny Parker. He had a youth foundation over there in Washington Park, and he used to have like, you know, certain drills the same way you got with football. He had drills like that for all of the kids to come in and play. But like, he kind of took me under his wing and always gave me game, not only about basketball, but also about like how to handle situations and stuff too. And that's something that I'll never forget for the duration of my life. So, you know, with you being in that same position, I feel like, you know, that's what you can do to make a change in the city.
Yeah, it's a platform, man. I think we just got to use the platform as much as we can.
You inspire children, you can inspire the future, man. You can definitely like play a huge role in it, man.
If I reach one, man, I reached enough.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I feel.
For sure.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Back to when you were meeting, you know, these big name guys, man. Who was like the most person you were looking forward to meeting, or who was like your favorite players growing up that when you met them, you was aesthetic, of course. I mean, you're probably not starstruck. You know, you don't look like a person who would be starstruck about anyone, but like the closest to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy that you said that. I've never been starstruck, man. I've always been a cool, calm, collective guy like, in every situation. But I think one person I met LeBron at a club. I ain't meet him, but like he was like, "Oh, what up, bro?" Like, across from me, like at the other table. But
what club was that?
Light.
Oh, okay.
Light. It was Light.
That's in Vegas, right?
No, out here.
Oh, okay. No one here. Okay.
Bevy used to be called Bevy.
Oh, okay.
Got you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You always change it up.
Yeah, you know how they do. But I don't know, man. I think one person that Michael Jordan. I never met Michael Jordan. I think that'd be the closest thing to being Mike. Like
that's who you would.
Starstruck.
Yeah, man. His commercials definitely kept me motivated through working out. You know what I'm saying? Training, keeping the right mind to being athletic, and you know he a quiet guy outside of, you know, the whole world. You know, I don't really see him speaking up on a lot of things, but when it came to like his commercials, you know, that's where he did all his inspiring, I believe. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's good that you were into film. You know, that's what I thought about when I first saw you. When you started doing film, I was like, you know what, that's good. Because when I'm doing film, when I'm working on stuff as well, it's just like, as long as when the motive is meant to inspire, I think that film is definitely something, you know, very worthwhile. As I said earlier, you know, anytime something is recorded digitally, is kept as history. Right. It can't be taken away, of course, unless you delete it. Yeah. But, you know, once it's out there in the world, man, it's out there in the world. No one can take it. You know what I'm saying? So just like this interview, man.
Yeah, it's out here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. I know the last few questions that I'm actually about to ask it's kind of like put into perspective, you know, that we all real, you know what I'm saying? We all human beings and stuff like that, you know. So it's like a situation of, you know, when we see athletes, speaking of Starstruck, when we see athletes or superstars or whatever the case may be, it's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, they themselves is like, yo, I'm just a regular person. Talk to me the way you would talk to your friend. Right. So like one of the questions that I want to ask to like kind of, you know, bring it down back to earth. Like what's one of the last books that you read?
The last book, Power.
Power?
Yeah, the 48 Laws of
48 Laws. Man, I couldn't get through that. I got to like the 7th law.
I read that book I read that book super like, all right, some of those laws like,
yeah, to be exactly.
Like, I can't bend the way my value system as far as like doing people wrong. Yeah, it's like some of those laws like, look, that's against my core values.
As far as power, man. Yeah, the people with power in history.
Exactly. So I'm like, look, to some degree, I read that book with like, you know, like, all right, some of those laws you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Hey, I can't flex, man. When I read that book, and again, I didn't get through the whole book. I only got through like the first 7 laws, maybe 12 if I'm not mistaken, one or the other. But as I'm reading it, I'm like, man, basically they just telling you how people throughout history used other people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in different ways, but using people is not always necessarily bad though. Like you need to build a team or build, a backing, a following to do things. That's what being a leader is. If the word leader wouldn't exist if it wasn't followers.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. And I mean that's inevitable. But some of those laws in that book, like it was saying, it's like, no, you can't.
I agree and disagree though, because I read through it, man. I watched videos on it, man. I study, sociology, psychology, philosophy, and all that strongly, man.
Yeah.
In that book, man, I really enjoyed it. I've probably read through it like 5 times over, man. I can see when you say like some of those laws though, not necessarily for you because it's not, But now that this laws, of course, this is someone that his perception of everything is all opinion, but you can at least identify these things, what's going on around you. You can see that law of power being used on the coach of this or the GM here, or
Now that's definitely a good thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the laws that I personally didn't like the first one. You know what I'm saying? I think the first one was what, like
you was done at one.
The very first one, like I didn't really like it because it seemed like they were saying that sometimes you gotta kiss ass. You know what I'm saying? Because the first law it's about
you don't.
I'm not even gonna try to say the word.
There's levels to kissing ass. There's a level where you kiss ass to the point where it's like you're trying to get yourself known or be put out there. Then there's a level of kissing ass to the point where it's like I'm gonna kiss ass to the point where I'm gonna get to where I need to go and then I'm done. Sometimes people kiss ass for attention, like because they're attention seekers. But then it's like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do to get to where I gotta go, and if that means doing this, then I'm gonna do it.
For sure.
That's different opposed to kissing ass to get attention for worldly gains. You get what I'm saying? I'm at the point like, look, team, bring me. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Well, why you always raise your hand? Well, I'm trying to make the team. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Why you always asking if they're testing? Like, no, I got to do what I got to do to protect myself and my family and feed myself and my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's kissing ass in that realm. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Yeah, of course. But again, that's only a perception though, because some people wouldn't even look at it as kissing ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, like, I didn't know this because me being, I would think, a natural leader, like being around other people in my industry of fitness. When I met other trainers, they'd tell me straight up when I saw them that they realized it wasn't for them. Like, man, I'm not meant to be a leader like this. I'm like, I'm meant to just follow and take orders. I've never heard anyone say this before, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the fact that there are, that's the masses of people that do exist, that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, people kiss ass and don't even think it's kissing ass. They think that's just their job. That's just a, duty. Their earthly pursuits is someone else's pursuits.
Yeah, I can't have that mind. I can't see myself saying, look, I was born to follow somebody.
Of course not, man.
I mean, but that's just me. I know. Feel like I was a natural born leader. Like, I lead by example.
For sure.
And that's just how I am.
Yeah, of course. You wouldn't be where you at if you had that mindset.
Exactly.
Man.
Right. Exactly.
Unless you were just straight up just following. I don't know. I can't even name Larry Fitzgerald every day. You know what I'm saying? Everything he did.
I'll follow him every day because I'm learning at the same time.
For sure.
I think you catch like him, man. You showed me a lot of the way you grab the ball. The way
he has great hands. Yeah, I like to think I do.
For sure, man. Could y'all catch without gloves though?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. The gloves is intensive, makes it a little easier, but.
No, that's just like one of those street conversations in the barbershop, whatever. They always say like, man, those wide receivers can't catch balls without gloves though.
Yeah.
They definitely help out though.
For sure. Definitely do.
You'll catch the ball with your fingertips. Yeah. For sure, man. That's cool though, man. But I appreciate you coming out here, man, and sitting down for this interview, man. It really humbles me for you to take your time to come out here.
Oh, no problem, man. Appreciate y'all bringing me on. Thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. It was definitely real, man.
Yeah, man. You got Kyle Prater on COINTEL, man. You over here telling us about your injuries. That still stuck to me because I just had surgery recently, man. I had a pectoralis repair. Tore my pec, man.
Yeah, I heard those are bad.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just show it right quick. This is what it is, man. This is this is not no good, you know what I'm saying? But
wow.
It is what it is, bro. You recover, man. I'm just now recovering. I'm just now starting to be able to, strength train. I go to physical therapy like 4 times a week, man. So
rehab
crazy.
Is no joke.
Yeah.
Is no joke.
How often you go now?
Well, I don't have nothing I'm rehabbing. What I do, I just prehab. Like, I do preventative stuff.
Oh, okay.
So preventative stuff to prevent injury down the road.
Yeah.
So maintenance stuff, see a chiropractor or do this thing called performance reflex.
Okay.
Just like trigger points on your body and like readjust and realignment by triggering certain muscles and tissues on your body. So just doing the maintenance stuff, man. Stay healthy, stay ready.
Oh, for sure, man. Well, let's end on that note, man. Giving us a really good way of what you've been doing.
Yep.
Keeping it going, man. I definitely see a bright future in you, man, for sure, man. You're going to get things going.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully you
man.
can be here in the Bears, man, so we can keep hanging. You know what I'm saying?
That'll be a blessing. I love that.
For sure, man.
Or, you know what, LA, I go visit.
At this point, man, anywhere is fine.
For sure, man. But thanks for coming out, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, man. It's GQ, JD, promoting nothing but prosperity, understanding, and positive energy.
Yeah.
It's Colin. Thanks for listening.
Peace.